Greetings, YouTube. Again, more fan noise, but it's 87 degrees in my office and it's 8:41 a.m., so it's warm. Good news on the dental front. I kept my tooth so far. However, I have a rather large infection inside my skull, which is a place you really don't want an infection. So I'm taking very strong antibiotics because I'm allergic to penicillin, but I get Vicodin for the pain. Yay, Vicodin! Today's story is going to come out of the UK. Apparently, a husband and wife have been threatened with being turned over to social services. And why have they been threatened with this? Because they have allowed their two children, ages 5 and 8, to bike their way to school alone. It's a 1-mile distance. The kids travel together. And some people have a problem with this. Now, the only problem I have with this article, other than the fact that there appear to be a whole lot of busybodies in the neighborhood where these people live, is that the picture showing the two children shows them not wearing bike helmets. That's my only concern. If you ride a bike, wear a helmet. I don't care if you're 5 or if you're 95. Helmets will save your life. Don't gamble with that. You need your head. But some people have said, well, 5, that's kind of young. Some people have even said, what's a 5-year-old doing going to school? Well, you see, I went to school when I was 5. I was in kindergarten. I said, yes, I realized this was back in 1969 because I know I'm as old as dirt. But I lived about a mile from my school. And every day I walked to school and home from school by myself. Now, the first few times I did this with my mother. But after that, she let me do it alone. In fact, she'd stand outside waiting for me. And apparently I would whistle tunelessly. So I can whistle. I'm not particularly good at it. I can actually carry a tune now as an adult. But as a child, I kind of went... And she could hear me from blocks away. Now, I did walk through mostly residential neighborhoods, but there was one major street that I had to cross on my own. In fact, it's one of the busier streets in the city. Pretty much the section of the street that connects the main branch of the city with the north end of my city. And the north end is the wealthier, well-to-do section of the city. And I made it there and back every day. Okay. No one kidnapped me, though I can't imagine anyone would have wanted to keep me. No cars ran me over. No motorcycles tried to run me down. Zeus himself did not strike me with lightning. I think that far too many people are afraid for some reason because of the media. The media has created fear, and I'm going to give you an example. Your average deer, 4-footed ungulate that lives in the forest, can pick up its surroundings out to about 250 meters. Because beyond 250 meters, it doesn't matter if a deer sees it or not. It can't hurt the deer. Within 250 meters, that's something that the deer has to be concerned about. Beyond 250 meters, it doesn't matter. A deer can run very quickly. So no predator, no cougar, no bobcat, no pack of wolves can affect it if they're further than 250 meters away. This is one of the reasons that they are so easy to kill if you got a clear shot and you're 300 meters away. Because they don't even detect you as a danger. Now, I want you to imagine it for a moment that we were able to wire a deer up with the ability to pick out things out to a kilometer, 1,000 meters. Suddenly, the deer could pick up a whole lot more information. There would be things all the time pinging on its radar telling it to be afraid. But there is no reason to be afraid, because anything beyond 250 meters isn't a danger to a deer. But the deer would be afraid all the time. The stress would probably kill the deer. That's what the media does to us humans. The media expands our ability to perceive the universe to the point where we are stressed out about things that we should not be stressed out about. The reality is, at least in America, children raised in today's world are the safest any human beings have ever been in the entire history of our species. In real numbers, approximately 200 children are kidnapped every year in America. 100 of them never come home. And that is a tragedy. But that's out of a population of 306 million people. Those are some really good odds that your child is not going to be harmed by anyone. And in fact, if you were to drive your child to school every day as opposed to letting them walk or ride a bike, statistically, they are more likely to be harmed because they were in a car accident than they will be harmed by walking or biking. People fear things because the media ramps up their fear. The media tells them about all the cases all over the country, but those cases aren't in your town. Those cases aren't in your city. Those cases are lots of places you and your child are never going to be. And you really don't have to worry about what happens way over there. Now you can feel compassion and empathy for these people, and that speaks well of you if you do. But you don't have to be afraid. And that's what I think is going on in the UK. People are afraid. Because I imagine that the UK media does the exact same thing that the US media does. It's what they do. If it bleeds, it leads. If they can make people afraid, people stay tuned in. That's how the news works. The news doesn't make any money, folks. The commercials between the news pieces do. And if you're not watching, those commercials aren't making money. So I say, let these kids bike their way to school. They're not in any danger. Unless, of course, they don't wear helmets.